Gigantic crappie are gonna tear these up. Bass are gonna tear them up. White bass are gonna absolutely smoke them. They're a great bait. Let's talk some swim baits. I mean, this is like a bottomless pit of ultralight fishing. I got swim baits, I got other stuff. This video is gonna be more aimed at swim baits, like micro swim baits, panfish swim baits. But I got other stuff in here too that are just, they're too good to not show. So we're gonna show them. When I say it's a bottomless pit in here, it's a bottomless pit. Okay, so now that we got a whole pile in front of us, what I want to start off with, we're just gonna go small to big. So a big part of my fishing is aimed at crappie, bluegill, trout when it's available. Trout, crappie, panfish, small bass, white bass. A big part of what you guys see me throw a lot are these right here. These are Charlie Brewer sliders, and these are the 1-inch. They come in other sizes as well, but the 1-inch is by far my favorite. The bigger ones, they don't have the same action that these have, which is surprising. They have the same tail, the same paddle, kind of the same design, but when you actually put them in the water and use them, the action is just much different. So when I'm fishing for bluegill or crappie or small bass, when I'm ultra light fishing, a Charlie Brewer slider 1-inch swim bait is always my go-to, right? Now I got a whole bunch of different colors than just the orange. This I bought on the internet. It's also Charlie Brewer sliders, right? And we're gonna get into the hooks here in a minute. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but ditch the hooks that they come with. This is the smallest hook that they offer when you order it in the box like that from them. And as you can see, in no way, shape, or form does it match the jig. It doesn't match at all. You completely defeat the purpose of having a 1-inch swim bait when you add on another 1/2 inch of hook shank and the jig head itself, right? Completely defeats the purpose. The sliders themselves, you can get them in pretty much any color. The one color that I am missing that works really well is the black with the blue tail. I have the solid black here, and I honestly couldn't tell you how many trout I've caught on this color. I filled this box with the colors that work really well for me. And like I said, the only one that I'm missing is the black and blue tail. This is the all black, and the tail is kind of kinked on this one. I should have just left them in the pack that they came with, but I ordered this a while from the company, and they didn't really have the kinking problem like this, so I'm almost wondering if this one just came like that. But the black and blue has the same black, but it's got like a transparent blue tail, and that works really well. But I've had a hard time tracking down that color. So another fantastic color is this cherry pink. You can see that it's got like some sparkle in it. And my all-time favorite, what I honestly truly believe works the best in pretty much all water conditions, whether it be murky, clear, stained, whatever, is this color right here. The white body with the pink tail kills them. They can't resist it. I use these when I'm creek fishing. I'll go to the big lakes and use them. I'll go to small ponds and use them. And regardless of where I'm using them, I catch fish. So I got the orange here too. And that's what I mean by, you wouldn't think having them in the box will kink the tail when literally some of them come in the box, right? And what I do want to point out that there is one small difference from when you order them in the bag than when you order them in the box. Is if you look at the box, it says bluegill, crappie, and trout, right? But if you order them in the bag says crappie, bluegill, and perch. Moving on, before we talk about a different swim bait, I want to put you guys on to the absolute best jig head and hook that you are going to find for these. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, so don't get your feathers ruffled. I have not been able to find a hook that is better. Let me see if I can get it without the glare. I have not been able to find a hook that is better than the BG1 size 12 1.25 gram, right? Everything's kind of backwards and reversed in the camera, but it's a BG1, it's a size 12 hook, and it's a 1.25 gram jig head. See, no matter how I put it, it's just backwards. But anyway, it comes in different sizes too, and I use this one, which is the size 8 hook, and this is a 1.25 as well, or this is a 1.5. How about that? So this is a 1.5 gram with a size 8 hook, and it's a BG1 as well. I use these for my 2-inch swim baits, and it's just a perfect match. Another thing that the size 12s go absolutely great with, and I know you guys have had to have seen these before, is the Berkeley Nymphs. Look at that. Tell me that that is not the absolute perfect matchup. It's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Size 12 hook, 1.25 gram jig head, matches perfectly with the nymph. They make the nymph in all sorts of different colors as well. For me and my personal preference, these two colors, man, that's just perfect, isn't it? Look at that. Another thing that I wanted to show you guys that you can use for the BG1s that also come from iFish Tackle are these dangly tails. Look at that, just the littlest, just the littlest flick, and that tail just goes absolutely nuts. You can just cast your bobber out and just watch it as it kind of goes up and down on those little wakes, and that tail is down there just a dancing, just going crazy. And it's effective. It's very effective. This comes in all sorts of different colors too. The one that I just showed you was the black Presso. And then this one is the black and gold. It's got little gold flake with a black body. And again, just that flicky, wiggly, dancy little tail. I want to show you guys what the BG1 looks like with the Charlie Brewer. It's just an absolute perfect match. Absolutely perfect. Now you can get these jig heads with or without this little clip on it. I order half of mine with clips and half of them without clips. There's another version of the Charlie Brewer, and it's not by the same company at all. It's by Strike King, and they look like this. Now, one thing that you don't have to do with these, that you do, well, in my opinion, you do, and a lot of people, some people might disagree, but on the Charlie Brewer, the difference between these is this comes with a flat top to it, and this one has like a little ball at the end. I always cut that ball off. It doesn't help with anything. You can absolutely get by without it, and in my opinion, it hinders your bait quite a bit. So the first little ball that you see up there, I snip that off. Okay, now where the Charlie Brewer absolutely outperforms the Strike King version, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not. Well, I mean, obviously you'll be able to see it, but look at the size of the paddle that the Charlie Brewer uses versus the size of the paddle that the Strike King uses. The paddle on the Strike King is tiny, and it's also like a triangle shape. So this tail gives you like a bunch of micro vibrations. I can't stand it when people say that. The truth is, it doesn't have action worth a crap. That's the truth. Whenever I want to, this is my opinion, and you can get mad about it if you want. Anytime a company starts advertising micro vibrations in a swim bait, AKA their swim bait is trash with action. And that's what this is. The tail just ever so slightly kicks back and forth. And you gotta kind of reel it a little bit quick to get it to have any action at all. With this, if it's in the water, the tail is kicking. Yeah, I don't care if you're reeling it slow, fast, medium, up, down, left, right. If this is in the water, the tail's kicking, and it kicks good. This, I think, is a better swim bait for wintertime, or coming right up off of winter where the water's still cold, the fish are still not really wanting to chase down a quick moving, fast bait. That's where I think you're gonna have the most luck with this. But for summertime fishing, this is not it. The Charlie Brewer is by far, I've used them both, I can say this confidently, the 1-inch Charlie Brewer slider is a far superior swim bait to the Strike King version. So if you're gonna get one or the two, get the Charlie Brewer. If you need to get both and try it out for yourself, do that. So moving up from our 1-inch, we're gonna go to a 2-inch. This is the Snacky Swimmer from Guggen. It's their 2-inch swim bait. And I got some gripes about this one. So one of my bigger gripes about this bait is I truly believe that it is a great swim bait for crappie. It's an amazing bait for crappie, and that's what it was made for, crappie. But in my opinion, the swim bait by itself isn't that great. And the reason that is because it has this really tiny, almost a boot style paddle. It's not a boot style paddle, but it's got this very, very small paddle on it, just like the Strike King. And it's not exactly a flat paddle, but it's not really a boot style paddle either. So this doesn't have that back and forth crazy good action that the Charlie Brewers have, but there's a fix for that. What I have found, the best way to pair that up is with a Roadrunner, because your blade is gonna make up the action that your tail has lost due to the size, right? So you're gonna get the little bit of vibration on the back, and it's a lot more than a micro vibration, but it definitely doesn't have as much action as the Charlie Brewer. Now, you can make up that action by simply pairing it with a Roadrunner, and this bait is unbelievably amazing for crappie. It works fantastic. I'm not necessarily saying the best things about the Strike King and the Guggen Squad Saucy Swimmer, but you got to keep in mind, they're in my everyday bag. So when I'm going ultralight fishing, these are in there. And I don't put anything in this bag that I'm not going to use at least once out in my trip. Now, there are times that I got my rods pre-rigged and I don't get snagged. I don't need to replace a leader. My baits stay intact. Super glue, by the way. So I might not have these necessarily rigged up, because a lot of times I got 3 or 4 different rigs and I got a whole bunch of stuff here. So sometimes they just don't have an opportunity to be used, but they're in my everyday bag and they get used all the time. If you can tell, they're real thick. They're pretty darn thick right there. And so that works great for crappie. Crappie don't care, right? Especially when they're hungry. This size swim bait, gone like that. When I'm ultralight fishing, I want a 2-inch swim bait that's slim. And that's where these come in. These are the Speed Shad from Bass Pro, the 2-inch version, and these are scented as well. These are by far some of my favorite swim baits to throw, period. They got a full paddle tail, a fully ribbed body. So you're just gonna get crazy action. I mean, look at the bend on that. Look how it already just wants to swim out of my hands, right? But look how thin it is too. I mean, it's no bigger around than your common night crawler. Honestly, this is more of a thickness of a red worm than a night crawler. And it's super soft, super pliable, super bendy. And where that helps you out a lot is bluegill will eat this too. Bluegill, crappie, trout, bass, everything wants this, right? And I got this in different colors too. The color on this one is the smoked silver flake. And then I have another color as well. Can't really, oh yeah, there you go. Look at that. The color on that is milky salt and pepper. Milky salt and pepper, that's perfect. So you're gonna get unbelievable action with these that far outperforms the Guggen Squad version. And they're so thin that anything that you want to fish for can fit it in the mouth. These, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't caught any bluegill on these. I've caught tons of crappie. I've caught bass, what else? Warmouth, easy to catch warmouth with these, but I haven't really caught any bluegill with them. And I think that's because it's just a little too thick. You don't have that problem with these. You can catch bluegill, you can catch trout, you can catch crappie, you can catch bass. These are just all around. If you're out fishing, having a good time, and you just want to put fish in the boat, this is the one. Another one of my favorite 2-inch swim baits, the Berkley Power Bait Power Swimmer. And this is the 2-inch. Now these are a little bit thicker than the Bass Pro, but they're not as thick as the Guggen Squad. As you can see, now we're kind of getting into night crawler thickness, which everybody knows a bluegill eats a night crawler easily. So now we're kind of getting into night crawler thickness versus the red worm thickness, right? Again, full paddle, fully ribbed design, and you can get these in all kinds of different colors. The colors that I chose 4 colors just because, look, here's the deal. I'm not the type of guy that's gonna have, like, if I'm getting a pack of swim baits and they have 10 different colors, I'm only gonna pick out the colors that I believe are gonna work in my area. So I'm not gonna have this in every color because I don't really feel like there's a need. I do have a lot of colors though. Let's see, this one, the one that I just showed you, is the Magic Bass. So that's the color on that. Let's check out the color on this one. All right, this color right here, same bait, same style, but it's just a different color. The Electric Blue Chartreuse. You got some green flake, a green body. My camera's not doing the best job at picking it up. You got these little blue spots added on it, right? So you got the flake, you got multi-colors going on. Here's what I really enjoy about these. If you look right here, some people might call this an inconsistency with the coloring because some of them have more blue than others. Some of them, like this one right here, barely has any blue at all. This one definitely barely has any blue. The reason I like it this way, it gives you a variety. If you feel like you got a little too much blue going on, okay, cool. Swap it out for one that don't got so much blue on it. If you need a little bit more blue, grab one that's got a whole bunch of blue on it. It gives you so many more options just in one pack, right? And they're kind of all like that. Another great example of that is the Rainbow Shad. So if you look here, this one is almost completely translucent with the littlest of smidge of blue in there. It's like a translucent, like clear silver color with just a splash tad of blue right there, right? Now that's gonna work great in clear water. Crystal clear water, that's getting ate like that. But what if you're not fishing crystal clear water? What if the water's a little bit stained or a little bit muddy? Then you can grab the rainbow shad that's got a little bit more in it, right? So it just gives you so many more options in one pack of bait. If they were all the exact same color, made the exact same, then it just limits your option to one. But like I said, when it's kind of like this, again, a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's inconsistent. I disagree. I think that when they're made like this, it gives you so much more variety to choose from in just one pack of baits. So when all the lakes around here were still stocked with stock trout, when the water was cold enough, the Euro Tackle B Vibe is what I was throwing first. Now I got two colors here. I got like Sexy Shad, and honestly, I can't remember what the blue one is. But these are the two colors that I pick out when I'm throwing these. These have been the two colors that work the absolute best for me every single time I use them. As you can tell, these boxes being almost empty, I use them quite a bit. Another box of pre-mades that I have, I got a B Vibe right here. I got a Berkeley Power Bait Power Swimmer here. We got a Guggen Squad Saucy Swimmer, 2.8 inch right there. We'll go over these in a second. And then here, if you guys wanted to see what the gold one looked like. It's perfect. These are killers. Speaking of the Saucy Swimmer, I got these in a whole bunch of colors too. Now I know what you're thinking. The Saucy Swimmer is not an ultralight swim bait. And I agree with you, it's not. But when I fish with them, I get bit by crappie. Crappie will tear these up. And I know they'll tear them up because I got it on video of them tearing them up. Another great thing these are good for, walleye, sauger, bass, white bass. All of those are gonna tear these up. And I got them in all sorts of different colors. I got 4 boxes of these. And I wouldn't buy 4 boxes of a bait that don't work. They work. We've went over some swim baits. I think we've went over all of my swim baits. Well, I don't see any danglers around. I kind of want to move on to other baits that I keep in here that aren't necessarily swim baits, but I use right alongside my swim baits. My 2 absolute favorites are the Dangly Tails from iFish Tackle and the Larva Z by Z-Man. I love these things so much. These are Elastec. At least I think they're Elastec. They act like Elastec. I'm pretty sure these are Elastec or a different material that acts just like Elastec. These are freaking awesome. And what I primarily do with these is I put them under a float. Now, these are the best absolute floats you are ever gonna find for panfish. I don't know, maybe you could find some better ones in Japan, but here in America, you're not gonna find a better float for panfish than these. These are all sized by grams. So you gotta pay attention to what you're putting on these because they're pretty finely tuned as well. Now you can use the fatty, which holds a lot more, and it says all the grammage right up there on it. I mean, come on, tell me that's not the slickest, coolest bobber you've ever seen. I literally have, I think, like 10 or 15 of these, both in the fixed float and in the slip float options. They're just great. Before we hop on over to us catching the fish with these very baits that I'm showing you here, I guess I should go over pairing with the hooks. Like I already said, the Charlie Brewer sliders are gonna be the best paired with a 1.25 gram size 12 jig head, BG1 from iFish Tackle. Every single one of my 2 inchers I use a 1.5 gram size 8 hook. Every single 2-inch swim bait I've put this on, it matches it perfectly. I honestly, truly challenge you to find a jig head made in America better than the BG1 for panfish. Panfish specifically, you're not going to be able to do it. You have to go and order on Japanese websites to find a hook even remotely comparable to this. You are not going to find a hook this sharp, this quality, this perfect for ultralight fishing anywhere in Bass Pro. Academy Sports, Sears, whatever rinky-dink tackle shop you go to, you will not find a better jig head for ultralight fishing than the BG1. It's impossible. In America. I want to preface that. In America. If you do, I want to see it. Because obviously, I like good gear. I like having better stuff. I like having really good stuff. If you can find a better jig head than this, let me know. I'm just fairly confident you won't be able to. Let's finish it off here, right? Charlie Brewer slider, 1 inch. In pretty much any color you can find. Get them all. They all work absolutely amazing. The dangly tail. You can get it in all sorts of different colors. These are my 2 favorite. I'm gonna try more, but for now, these are the ones I got. The Z-Man Larva Z. Honestly, for ultralight bobber fishing, it doesn't get any better than the Larva Z from Z-Man for a bobber. Now you can jig these without a bobber too, but they're kind of best on a bobber. Another fantastic option for floats that are right up there with the Larva Z's are the Berkeley Nymphs. These are scented as well. These are amazing. The fish absolutely love them. Put them under a float. You won't regret it. This is my newfound go-to, by the way. I just found these probably about a month ago, and I've fallen in love with them. They're freaking awesome. What my main swim baits were before these were the Berkeley Power Swimmer power baits and the Euro Tackle B Vibe. And really, I preferred the Euro Tackle B Vibe over everything else until I found these. These are perfect. They're perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. If I could, or if I had to change something, I guess I would make the paddle a little tiny bit bigger just to give it that much more action, but it has unbelievable amount of action as it is. I just don't know if it would be necessary. Let's go catch some fish.